Nobody saw Aaron Pierre coming. That is the thing about him that gets lost in the conversation about the relationship. Before Teyana Taylor, before the franchise announcements, before his name started appearing next to Ryan Gosling in headlines, Aaron Pierre was the quiet one. The introvert who chose acting despite everything about the profession working against how he is built.
It's honestly, I'm an introvert. Like despite my career choice as an actor, an artist, I'm actually an introvert and somewhat of a recluse. So a lot of this year, the reception, I've been enjoying it and receiving it in the comfort of.
The man who has described himself in interviews as someone who processes the world in solitude, who needs stillness to function, who does not seek noise even when noise finds him. And then, Teyana Taylor walked into his life, and the quiet man opened a door he does not open often, and now he has closed it.
When I tell y'all, when it comes to available men, sometimes we women are just too thirsty. Okay? Now, I think everybody knows, we were all shocked to read reports that Teyana Taylor and Aaron Pierre split up over the holidays. They did. That is such a hot couple gone to waste. They are so, together. They were so beautiful.
And the reason he has given, the one he finally put on record, is the kind of answer that lands heavier than a scandal because it does not give anyone anywhere comfortable to direct the feeling. He said it was timing, that when two careers are both catching fire at the exact same moment, the love between the people attached to those careers does not always survive the heat. That what he and Teyana had was real and what their lives could not do was hold it.
Yeah, I had a hard time listening to him. She said blah, 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 blah. I am just like, I heard it, I received it, I respect it. But your eyes are unfair. They're unfair. I can be your mom, but I'm just, wow, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. It's hot in here. I'm kidding.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Aaron Pierre was too fine. See, ladies, this is what you get. And this is why I say, this is why you got to get an ugly man. Or even not an ugly man, you got to get a medium ugly man. You got to get a man with a great personality. Because see, when you get a man like Aaron Pierre with that height, those eyes, the cheekbones, the abs, you're going to have to deal with all of this, the women circling around.
That is the full statement. Clean, honest, and somehow the hardest thing he could have said. Let us start from where this actually started, because the story of how Aaron Pierre and Teyana Taylor became a couple is inseparable from the story of how they became a public fascination before either of them said a word about it.
Here's the part that took me out. Women are already flooding Aaron's comments, trying to get his attention, because he posted a very, very fine as hell picture of himself. All right, that's what he posted.
The first real signal came from a gala. Two people in the same industry in the same room, shoulder to shoulder in photographs that did not announce anything but said everything to people who know how to read a room. The energy in those photos was not professional. It was the specific warmth of people who have already had a conversation nobody else was present for and are now navigating the public version of something private. The internet caught it before they confirmed it, because the internet is extraordinarily good at detecting the thing underneath the thing.
Oh my God, those close-up we should get a close-up. Those are mesmerizing, beautiful.
Thank you.
What color are they?
I don't know.
I'll find out. I'll tell you what. So wait, you knew each...
It's like sharks smelling blood in the water. All kind of sharks going after this man. Old sharks, young sharks, cougar sharks, male sharks, menopausal sharks, baby mama sharks.
Then the Vanity Fair Oscar after party. That room carries specific meaning in Hollywood. It is where presence signals intent, where two people choosing to inhabit the same space at the same event communicate something that a press release never could. Aaron and Teyana did not arrive together, but the way they existed in the same frame inside that room, the look that crossed between them, that landed in photographs with the unmistakable quality of something unscripted, that was the moment the certainty settled in for everyone watching. When the Escape Room visual album dropped and that kiss was in the trailer, the question became academic. What was in that footage was not acted. The audience understood that without being told. The weight of it was real, and the realness was visible in the specific way that performance cannot manufacture. In the pause before the contact, in the quality of attention each person directed at the other, in the stillness underneath the motion. That was two people who were in something together. Teyana knew what she was showing the world. Her caption, "No gray area," was not accidental. She is precise in how she communicates, and that precision said exactly what she meant it to say. This is what it is. Look at it. Aaron responded to her birthday with language that did not sound like a celebrity managing his image. It sounded like a man who was proud of someone and wanted to say so. She called him her apple pie, a term of endearment so specific and so domestic that it told you what register the relationship was actually operating in. This was not red carpet romance. This was something they were living inside, quietly, outside the frame, and then it ended. The way these things end when neither person wants to announce it, through subtraction, less tagging, fewer appearances together, the gradual withdrawal of the digital warmth that had been so consistent and so visible that its absence became its own kind of statement. Fans noticed the change before any confirmation came. The narrative that had been building across months of appearances and captions and shared public moments simply stopped producing new material, and the silence that followed had the specific quality of a decision rather than a drift. The official statement was the flat kind. They had gone their separate ways. Sources close to the couple. The formulaic language of a Hollywood publicist doing their best work in the worst circumstances. It told you the outcome and nothing about the cause. Aaron eventually told the cause, not in a press release and not in a formal interview framed around the relationship. In the more honest way, the way something slips into a broader conversation about his life and his career and what this period of accelerating recognition has actually felt like from the inside. He said it was timing. He said it with the specific quality of someone who has processed an ending all the way to the other side and is describing it from there rather than from inside it. The timing he was describing has a very specific shape. Teyana Taylor in the period surrounding their relationship was not just successful, she was arriving at a level of recognition that the industry had been slow to extend and that suddenly became unavoidable. Golden Globe nomination. The critical conversation around One Battle After Another that was using language like one of one and just that girl and once in a generation. The album that got the kind of reception that makes you reevaluate everything you thought you understood about someone's range. She was on every important carpet in every important city. She was the story, not a story. The story. Aaron was not standing still while any of this was happening. His commitments were the kind that require a person to essentially disappear into the work. DC's Lanterns, the Star Wars project, a film landing in the same concentrated window. Franchise obligations carry a specific weight that regular movie commitments do not. The preparation, the promotional machine, the corporate visibility requirements, the expectation of flawless public presentation at every moment. All of it consumes the person underneath the role in ways that do not leave a lot of room for the unglamorous, daily, essential work of being present in a relationship. Two people, both consumed, both in demand, both navigating the specific pressure of being watched at a level where nothing is low stakes anymore. Their overlap was being measured in airport hours rather than days. The reunions were the kind that are intense, precisely because they are brief. The concentrated presence that comes from knowing the window is about to close again. And concentrated, brief intensity is different from the steady, sustainable presence that actually builds something lasting between two people. What Aaron described as feeling overshadowed is the element of this that the public has found most uncomfortable to sit with, not because it is an accusation, but because it describes something genuinely human. He was not saying Teyana was too much. He was saying that standing next to someone whose recognition was expanding in every direction simultaneously, while your own recognition was building towards something that had not yet fully arrived, produced a specific dynamic that was difficult to navigate regardless of the love involved. The person next to you becomes the frame through which you are seen. And when that frame is as large and as luminous as Teyana Taylor's was in that period, the person inside it has to decide how they feel about operating in that particular kind of light. Aaron is an introvert in a profession that rewards extroversion. He has built a career by going inward rather than outward, by finding characters from the inside rather than performing them from the surface. That quality, which makes him exceptional at the work, also means that environments requiring constant visibility and public presentation cost him something that they do not cost everyone equally, and a relationship where both people are at high visibility simultaneously, where the opportunities for the quiet, private, restorative parts of connection were being crowded out by the demands of two ascending careers, would have hit him differently than it might have hit someone who draws energy from exposure rather than spending it. Neither of them is telling the story as a wound. That is the thing that keeps striking people who have been listening carefully to how both of them talk about this period. Teyana's composure in the aftermath has the specific quality of someone who has been through a genuinely catastrophic public ending. Her marriage to Iman Shumpert dissolved in ways that generated coverage she could not control and could not escape, and who made a deliberate choice to protect this particular ending by not letting the public fully inside it while it was happening. She managed the relationship with a discretion that was itself a statement about what she had learned from what came before. When she said that if she called Aaron her boyfriend, it was because they had set that together, she was telling you something about the terms she was operating on. That the narrative was hers to shape, and she was choosing when and how to shape it. That line was not throwaway. It was the signal that she had already begun the process of reclaiming the story from the public conversation that was running on it. Aaron's corresponding signal, the spiritual language he reaches for when certain questions get close to certain answers, the way he navigates around a specific gravity without appearing to avoid it, reflects the same instinct from a different direction. He is not refusing to speak. He is choosing what speaking means, and what he has chosen to say is honest enough that it forecloses the need for anything messier. The theory that the whole relationship was visibility strategy, that the escape room kiss and the Oscar after party and the birthday tribute were choreographed for mutual benefit, is the theory the internet returns to because it provides the comfort of an alternative to genuine loss. If it was PR, nobody is actually hurt, and the sadness is misplaced. The problem with that theory is everything that cannot be choreographed. The way a person's hand moves towards someone instinctively before they are aware of the camera. The specific quality of attention in a look that is caught rather than posed. The birthday language that sounded like pride rather than promotion. Those things have a texture that strategy does not produce. What was real got fed to the machine. And the machine, which runs on visibility and cannot be turned off, kept generating content from the relationship long after the relationship had ended privately. The residue is still there. The clip from Escape Room that people keep rewatching. The after-party photos that keep resurfacing in comment threads that keep asking whether this story has an ending that has not been told yet. Pierre said the real reason. He said it simply and without performance. Two lives moving too fast in too many directions to give what existed between them the room it needed. That explanation does not make anyone a villain. It does not provide the clarity that betrayal provides. It provides something harder. The understanding that love can be real and insufficient simultaneously. That two people can want something to work and watch it not work anyway because the life they are living is incompatible with the thing they are trying to protect. That is the specific grief of the timing explanation. It has no address. There is nowhere to send it. You cannot be angry at ambition or at success or at the industry that produces both simultaneously in two people who happen to fall for each other. You can only sit with the specific loneliness of an ending that was not anyone's fault and was also entirely preventable if the circumstances had been different, and the circumstances were never going to be different. He protected his heart for a long time before he opened it. She called him her peace after a chapter in her life that had very little of it. Something genuine was built inside those descriptions, and the life that surrounded it could not hold the weight. The Escape Room Project is the artifact at the center of this story that nobody fully knows what to do with. It exists as a document of something real. The chemistry, the physical closeness, the emotional access that Teyana was granting Aaron and that Aaron was accepting. The visual album made the relationship visible in the way that their careful management of the soft launch had avoided making it visible. It put the intimacy on screen. It made the private public in the specific way that art does when the artist is drawing from something that actually exists. The complication with that artifact is what it means now that the relationship it documented is over. The footage does not change. Aaron's eyes in that footage do not change. The way Teyana moves in that footage does not change. What changes is the context in which it is consumed. The understanding that the people on screen were living something that has since ended, and that the ending was not because the feeling was not real, but because the feeling could not survive the architecture of their lives. Every time that clip resurfaces, and it keeps resurfacing, fed by comment threads and reaction videos and people who cannot stop watching it and cannot fully explain why, the audience is watching a document of something that no longer exists outside the frame. That is a specific kind of loss that most creative collaborations do not carry. Usually the art and the relationship that produced it have some independence from each other. Here they are the same thing. The album was the relationship made visible. The relationship ending makes the album something else. Not lesser, but differently weighted. A record of a specific time, rather than a promise about what comes next. Aaron being an introvert navigating franchise-level fame is a combination that deserves more examination than it usually receives. The entertainment industry at his level of visibility is not built for the way he processes the world. It is built for extroversion, for public presence, for the specific energy expenditure of constant external engagement. He does the work at that level, and he does it exceptionally. His performances have the depth of someone who goes all the way inside the character rather than presenting the character from the outside. But the going inside costs something. And the coming out to do the press and the red carpets and the promotional obligations costs something else. And at a certain point, there is not a lot left over. A relationship with someone who is at the other end of the visibility spectrum, at the absolute gravitational center of cultural attention, whose every appearance is an event, whose recognition was finally expanding to match what people had known about her talent for years, is a relationship that would need a lot of what is left over. The quiet parts, the restoration, the private, unglamorous daily presence. That is what love actually requires to function over time. And the logistics of two careers structured the way theirs were structured during this period meant that the leftover was minimal. The airport hours and the 48-hour windows and the shared appearances that looked complete to everyone watching, but were truncated versions of what they actually needed from each other. That is the specific erosion Aaron is describing when he talks about timing. Not a single moment of failure, but an accumulation of insufficient presence. Each individual deficit manageable. The accumulation over enough cycles producing something that could not be managed. The love intact and the structure around the love incapable of holding it. Teyana has navigated a very public romantic history. The marriage to Iman Shumpert, which produced children she clearly loves deeply, and a dissolution that played out in the worst possible way for someone who had tried to protect it, taught her things about public endings that informed how she handled this one. She did not let the public inside the Aaron chapter the way she had let them inside the earlier chapter. The minimal documentation, the tasteful appearances, the specific restraint of a woman who has learned that the things you protect best are the things you do not expose to the machine while they are still alive. Her management of the ending reflects the same understanding. The reclaiming of the narrative through small, deliberate moves, the statement about setting the terms of what she calls him, the absence of any direct commentary on the breakup itself, is the behavior of someone who knows how to protect her own story. She is not silent because she has nothing to say. She is deliberate because she knows the cost of saying the wrong thing to the wrong audience at the wrong time. Aaron and Teyana handling this the way they handled it, with what the public has received as grace and mutual respect and the conspicuous absence of ugliness, is itself a statement about who both of them are. Hollywood endings do not usually look like this. They usually look like competing narratives and strategic leaks, and the specific ugliness of two people who were in something real trying to establish publicly who was less at fault. The fact that this one has not produced that ugliness is either evidence of genuine maturity or evidence of very good management, or both simultaneously. The internet's insistence that there must be something underneath the clean narrative is understandable. Clean endings are rare enough in any context, and in Hollywood they are rarer still. The suspicion that the timing explanation is the polite version of something messier is a reasonable suspicion. But the specific way Aaron has talked about this, the tiredness in the honesty, the absence of any remaining energy for performance around the subject, the willingness to acknowledge the overshadowing feeling even though acknowledging it required a kind of vulnerability that does not come from PR coaching, reads as the behavior of someone telling the actual thing rather than the managed version of it. He is a man who takes his time to open. He opened. It did not survive the conditions. And now he is living in the aftermath of that with the specific quietness of someone who has made peace with a loss that did not have to be a loss if the circumstances had been different. The circumstances were never going to be different. That is the part that stays with you. What the culture keeps doing with this story, rewatching the escape room footage, excavating old press appearances for moments that look different now, speculating about what the next shared carpet will feel like, is not just parasocial attachment to two famous people. It is the specific hunger for resolution that complicated endings produce. A story where the villain resolves, you assign responsibility, and you move forward. A story where two people who were genuinely in something could not find enough room to keep being in it does not resolve. It just continues differently. The feeling does not have anywhere to go, so it keeps moving around looking for the ending it was promised. Aaron Pierre is not going to give it that ending. He is too interior for that, too aware of the cost of disclosure, too committed to protecting whatever private reality still exists around what he and Teyana had. What he gave in that interview was the honest version of the structural explanation. The timing, the careers, the impossibility of the logistics, and that is going to have to be enough for the people watching from the outside because it is apparently the entirety of what he is willing to put into the public air. Teyana has already moved on in the only direction that actually means anything. Forward, into the work, into the recognition that keeps expanding, into the life she is building that is clearly large enough to hold everything she is trying to put inside it. She is not glowing because she is over something. She is glowing because she is someone who knows how to keep moving and has learned, through harder endings than this one, that forward is the only direction that does not eventually require you to come back. They were both real. What they had was real. The life around it could not hold the weight of both of their realities simultaneously. And that specific truth, honest, clean, devoid of scandal, and completely devastating, is the entire story. So here is the actual situation. Aaron Pierre finally named what ended the relationship with Teyana Taylor. Not scandal, not betrayal, not incompatibility of character. Timing, the specific impossibility of two careers at maximum velocity occupying the same personal space. He is at peace with it in the way that peace looks when it has been earned rather than performed. She is glowing in the specific way of someone who has protected herself through one ending well enough that she knows how to navigate another one. And the internet, which wanted a cleaner story with a clearer villain, is left with the most honest and most unsatisfying answer. That sometimes real things end for real reasons, and none of those reasons are anyone's fault. Do you take the timing explanation at face value? Or does the deliberate cleanliness of how both of them have managed this make you think there is still something underneath that has not been said? And is the version of Aaron Pierre and Teyana Taylor that existed in that specific window of time the kind of thing that could exist again in different circumstances? Or was it entirely a product of the moment that produced it? Drop everything in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe. Because award season keeps putting these two people in the same rooms and neither of them has said this story is finished.